All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, as this unPensky-like IndyCar season is about to come to an end, there are plenty of questions that remain answered around this team. And of course, biggest question: will this Sunday be the final time that two-time IndyCar champion Will Power will operate the number 12 Verizon Chevrolet for Team Penske? There's plenty of speculation due to the fact that Power's contract is up and he is yet to receive an extension. The rumors of David Malukas of AJ Foyt Racing possibly coming over to replace Power at Penske. Now, Malukas is 23 years of age, and of course, there's plenty of potential and upside there. But it all comes down to what Roger Penske and company intend to do. Now, like I said before, this has been an IndyCar season to forget for Team Penske. That cheating scandal that rocked the sport, and it also resulted in team president Tim Cindric, as well as several other Penske officials losing their jobs. And because of that, we've already seen some changes at Penske, and you could probably expect some more in the offseason. This is going to be the first time since 2009 that a Penske driver won't finish in the top three of points. And no driver for Team Penske this year is going to be finishing in the top five for that matter. For the third straight year, Penske has had to sit back and watch his main rival in Chip Ganassi and, of course, their talented driver Alex Palou claim the series championship. While overall, it's the fifth time in the last 6 years that Ganassi has claimed that crown. Alex Palou had another one, Scott Dixon, and of course, the one time that Chip Ganassi did not claim it, Will Power took the crown home a couple of years ago. But speaking of Alex Palou, it's a tall task right now to dethrone who is clearly the top driver on the IndyCar circuit. And of course, it's not just Penske that's looking to dethrone him, it's also everybody else on the circuit. But nonetheless, if you are Roger Penske and you got to sit back and watch Alex Palou dominate like he's been dominating, you got to sit back and say, how can I put my team in the best possible position, not only to compete with Chip Ganassi, but to try to find a way to get ahead of Alex Palou, which is going to be easier said than done. But with that said, with all of that, could a guy like Will Power get caught up in the wash with that? And would Roger Penske be willing to bid farewell to him? I mean, Will Power is 44 years of age, and I know that Father Time is undefeated when it comes to sports, but Power is still driving at a quality level. And so far, he is the only Penske driver to get the taste of the winner circle this season. Power is also the top Penske driver in points as he's currently eighth, while he's also three spots ahead of David Malukas. And for when it's all said and done, you look at Will Power's this season. He has six top fives. Okay. Scott Dixon also has six top fives, as does Christian Lundgaard. But the only two guys who have more top fives than Will Power this season, series champion Alex Palou, and the guy who was trying to stay alive heading into the last race, and that's, of course, Pato O'Ward. But nonetheless, will Power get caught up in the fact that it's a young man's game and Penske wants to move on to Malukas? We've got to wait and see. And of course, with that said, will Penske focus more on the future as to what David Malukas can potentially become or what he currently has in Will Power? Now, like I said a couple of weeks ago, if Penske is ready to move on from Power, I guarantee you that he won't be without a car for that long. Somebody's going to scoop him up if he were to be a free agent. And my take is this: for a guy like Power, with what I believe he still brings to the table, those drivers on other teams that are currently on shaky ground, they might want to be looking over their shoulders because a guy like Power could come into their respective team and take their seat. I said this after the Portland win, and I'm going to say it again right now. I also feel that it's disrespectful by Team Penske to leave power dangling out in the wind like this. Um, it's one of those where the driver has meant so much to the organization for so long to disrespect him like this. And I know it's a business. I totally get it. But if you're going to move on from the man, just come out and say it. Okay. And honestly, if you want to be cryptic about things, the way that Power, sounded after the Portland win, it sounds like the decision has already been made, which, if that is to hold serve, I think would be a shame. Just my 2 cents there. But nonetheless, the picture around Team Penske right now is currently fuzzy, but it should clear up soon. And of course, we've got to play the waiting game to see if they still want Will Power in their plans. One more race to go in the season, of course, in Nashville this Sunday. Look, a guy like Alex Palou, he's going to look to go out there and put the cherry on the top of what has already been a stellar season. Of course, the end has been anticlimactic. Last year, heading into the final race, it still had yet to be decided between Alex Palou and willpower. But nonetheless, let's see what happens here. Let's see if it's going to be willpower remaining in that Verizon Chevrolet number 12, or if David Malukas, excuse me, is going to bump him. Nothing lasts forever in the world of sports. Nothing lasts forever in life. But it would be very weird seeing Will Power race for another team on IndyCar, and of course, it would be weird seeing somebody else at Team Penske not named Will Power. So at the end of the day, we just have to sit back and play the waiting game. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw on this podcast, you know what to do. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. And like I always say, it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you give me that follow, I will give you that follow in return. And the same goes for Instagram, where you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. Also, if you're on Facebook, you can check us out at the Sports Depot 365. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the better sports debating groups going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, and I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.